patreon.com/album/labo. Let's get it. Welcome to tonight's stream. My name is Kashfi, your host. Um, we're picking up from what I started yesterday with the scientific computing with Python certification work. Started with building a cipher. I got cute and I started writing the code and started writing the project in many different languages. Um, hmm. Oh, I used REPL.it. It was cute, but you know what? Let's work through it instead of being cute. Um, One thing out of that cuteness that was very clear is that with Python, things are so much easier and simpler because I was coding something in C, C++, Java, and we began to see like negative indexing. You have to put a for loop, you have to call a function, a lot of extra work. Whereas with Python, you just do the -1 inside your brackets and you get the last element of the array. So these are some of the things that you'll see that Python is using what they call syntactic sugar to make your life easier. Because if you were using C, C++, or even Java, there would be multiple lines of code to do something very simple. So that is what I learned last night, what the last stream kind of showed in a little funny way. But yeah, if you're new to this stream, how I work is 45-minute Pomodoro sessions followed by a 15-minute break, and we come back and we run through all these tasks to complete our project. So we're at 12. We're gonna start at 13 tonight. And I read out loud. I welcome you to read these out loud so you can work on your pronunciation, because at the end of the day, you're working towards working with a teammate, working on a team, applying to jobs. And there, you can't just sit quietly and program. You have to communicate with your colleagues, your teammates. So it really is beneficial for you to read these instructions out loud and, you know, take note of the jargon. Take note of what's a parameter, what's an argument. What do you call when you're calling a function? Function call. All these little things are things that you need to practice. And FreeCodeCamp is a great site. It's very underrated, because it's free, so we think it's not worth it. But if you just practice these tasks regularly, you're building muscle memory, you're working on your recall, you're working on reading and connecting those definitions and jargons. So it's very easy and chill place to practice with no money down. No one's gonna bill you later or take your salary in the future if you get a job. Alright, so that's my take on Free Code Camp. I've known about this platform for a decade, but I never took advantage of it until this start of this year. Alright, so let's get started. Alright, let's throw some fireworks and start the clock, yeah? So this is the 45-minute counter. Once it, once we run out of time, we'll start the 15-minute break. We'll come back. Alright, so I really don't need the preview because it's a console thing. And this console doesn't really show anything. So the Python one is strictly to do the tasks and pass the tests. Alright, so we're at step 13. The first kind of cipher you're going to build is called a Caesar cipher. Awesome. Specifically, you'll take each letter in your message, find its position in the alphabet, take the letter located after 3 positions, and replace the original letter with a new letter. So right here, what they're doing is they're naming the algorithm and then they're giving you an overview of what the algorithm will do. So here in English is the steps of the algorithm. You will take each letter in your message, find its position in the alphabet, take the letter located after 3 positions, and replace the original letter. So in the next following steps, I guess we're going to be implementing this. And it's telling us start by finding the position of the first letter in the string. One way is to call the .find string method on the string you want to parse. So they're saying you're going to have a string called text. The string has a built-in method called .find, and you pass in a character. And if the W is there, it'll say true, or no, it'll return the index, right? So uppercase W is that character you want to locate inside the string stored in the text variable. The method will return 6, which is the index of the W character inside the string stored in the text variable. Okay, so here we're learning about a new method of the string class, the .find. We pass in a character and it's going to return the index of the string where that character is located. Okay, at the end of the code, call .find on your alphabet string and pass a text of 0 to the method. Note that a method is just a function that belongs to an object. See, a method is just a function that belongs to an object. When you're learning to program, this is something you should write down on an index card. Because pretty soon you're going to be working with objects, you're going to be making your own class, and when you're trying to communicate with somebody else that you're going to use a function that's built into a class, you don't want to say, I'm using the find function from the alphabet class. You just want to say, I'm using the find method. And the other programmer will understand the method is built into the class, and you don't have to make that distinction. So it's like learning to speak the language. So method. A method is just a function that belongs to an object. So that's something I would highly recommend you write down and add it to your new dictionary of programming terms. So alright, let's get to if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the chat or leave a comment. I'll go over those requests during the break. Alright, let's see. Alright, so the instruction is at the end of your code, you're at line 4, call .find on your alphabet. Our alphabet is the string with all the letters of the alphabet. Okay, so here, earlier we said text.find, so text was a string, here alphabet is going to be our string. Alphabet.find. Okay, now we're going to be passing text of 0 to the method. Text to the method. Text of 0. Text of 0 is what? This is text. Text of 0 is h, so that's going to be inside this function, we're passing in an expression. This is the expression that's going to be evaluated to h. Let's see what happens. Did I miss something? No, congratulations. But what is this going to return though? It's going to return h. I think I should have a Jupyter Lab open maybe to see it because they don't have a console. That sucks. The print function gives you only an output in the console, but functions and methods can have a return value they can use in your code. Here we go. Okay, now they're going to do that to a variable named index. So we're going to say assign, another keyword, assign. This is something you should recognize and learn. Assign means there's going to be an equal sign. On the left hand side of this equal sign is going to be the name of the variable, on the right hand is going to be the expression that gets evaluated. So here we go. Oh, hey, thank you. Hey, Bakirov, Kuwanish, thank you for the subscription and sticking around. If you ever any questions, feel free to hit me up. I would help you, buddy. So here we go. Assign is, I'm going to be dealing with an equal sign. On the left-hand side of this equal sign, on this side, left-hand side is going to be the name of the variable. Here we go. It says assign this expression to a variable named index. Here we go. Index is going to be on the left-hand side. And then the expression is going to be on the right-hand side. So we got alphabet.find, which we just did. I could just, okay. In this way, index will store the value returned by this expression. Did I spell everything right? Alphabet dot find text of 0. That's another thing. When you're learning a program, try to develop an eye for spelling. And yeah, when you're first starting a program, that's going to be one of your first mistakes. You're going to be misspelling things. So just have a double check, reread it. No big deal. No one's rushing you. So there we go. Next, print the index. Print the index variable to the console. So that's going to say, whenever you hear print the index, you're trying to understand that within your language, there's a function that's going to print to the screen. So let's see, in Python it's print. In C++, C, it's cout. Cout, yep. Anyway, we're doing print index. Console, nothing yet. I don't understand. Where do we find the thing? Remove distractions, support free code camp. Even free things have commercials. It's funny. But it's good. It's promoting this platform. So here we go. .find returns the index of the matching character inside the string. If the character is not found, it returns -1. Very important. As you can see, the first character in text, uppercase H, is not found since alphabet contains only lowercase letters. This is good. So earlier I said it would find H. I was right about that. But there is no H, which capital H, in our string. So it's not going to magically, it's not going to... Computers are dumb. Computers are intelligent when they do everything right. But they're not going to understand without instructions that you're looking for capital H and H are the same, or that you want either of them. Here, it's going to scan this alphabet array, look for capital H, see that there's no capital H, and it's going to say, I didn't find it. And it's going to return a -1. But you know, if you and me were just asking each other, is there H in this string? Then it'll say, yes, there's an H. Can you solve one LeetCode problem? Yes, I'm working through that on the other stream where I'm reviewing the data structures through Educative. Let me see. I'm also studying LeetCode problems. So what I'm doing is I'll do some Python, some JavaScript. See these ones, the blue ones? They're going over a different topic. So right now these are just review of the concepts. And I think the linked list one has a couple of practice questions. But I'm going through each of these concepts with Educative's Ace the Python coding interview. So I'm going through data structures. So I got to graphs, and now I'm working on through the trees. So on the next stream on that topic, it'll be these 3 topics: complete binary trees, skewed binary trees, and binary search trees. And I'm going to be working through it for a week. And then the try data structure, then the heap, and the hashing. And for now, I'm not going to go into the challenges. For the first step, I'm just going over the concepts, the vocabulary, the implementations. That's very important. And then I'm going to go back again and then tackle each of these challenge problems. If you're looking to study those LeetCode, I highly recommend neetcode.io. Everyone's loving this guy. He has the practice problems and videos. So, yeah. So if you want to look into NeetCode,
Hey everyone, welcome.
I'm gonna add that to the chat. Go to his YouTube channel, and he has playlists of all the LeetCode, and he does an excellent job of explaining it with visuals. So, like, say this one from a Facebook
Hey
interview.
everyone. This
He'll
is
explain
never
the
going to be valid
topic.
of our
He'll
stack.
draw
This is at the top of our
diagrams,
stack, right? This
and then he'll do an implementation of the problem, the optimal implementation. So, I highly recommend NeetCode. When he first started, I understood like this guy was gonna be good, so I just bought his lifetime membership, so I have the pro, and he has these courses inside his website. Yep. So right now I'm just working through this. Yeah, no problem. Kwanish. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, Kwanish. Many thanks for your support. But yeah, if you're studying it, doing just the one a day is excellent. Just one a day is excellent way of doing it. But don't try to memorize the answer, okay? Try to really think, recognizing what the problem is asking you. Then remembering which of the data structures that you practice would fit for that problem. And then when you're solving it, here's the key: talk it out. Don't sit there quietly coding it out. Talk it out. Just the way I'm talking out here on these streams, you have to practice talking it out loud. Because when you're pair programming, whether you're doing it for an interview or after the interview when you have the job, you're going to be working with other software engineers and you're going to be pair programming. This is where you are coding and your partner is telling you what to code. And it's very important to understand the language of programming. So don't just don't just try to sit there and get the most optimal solution. What you have to practice is talking out loud, recalling your ideas, and then even using a whiteboard, try to understand what's how to get to a solution. They're giving the hardest leak code problems, but they're not expecting you to solve it. They just want to know how you think, how you are able to communicate, whether or not you'll be able to communicate with other people. That's what they're testing you. That's what a lot of people don't understand. They're just grinding it out and just getting the answer and memorizing the answer, and they're thinking, oh wow, I'm a great leak code solver. That's not it. You just have to understand the concepts, how to communicate those concepts, and you don't even have to have the correct answer. You can have the wrong answer, but if they see that you're a programmer who values communication, who understands working in a team, the they'll give you the opportunity over someone who memorized and is a great competitive programmer. So that's my take on coding interviews. So don't ever get stressed out that you don't know enough programming. All right, so with those side questions, I'm gonna get back into the Python thing. I really appreciate you tuning into this stream, Kwanish. Uh, yep. I always get really passionate about the leak code stuff because I think it's something that we all programmers fear, but I just want everyone to know, don't fear it. It's a way for you to exercise programming, communicating with your partners, thinking outside the box. It's not something to be afraid of. All right, let's do this. Find. Here we go. Right, -1. You can transform a string into its lowercase equivalent with the dot lower method. Add another print call. Okay. So let's see. Let's. What is it asking me? Okay. You can transform a string into its lowercase equivalent with the lower method, right? Add another print call to print text.lower and see the output. Oh, okay. My bad. Thank you, Kwanish. Neatcode.io, highly recommend. And he's way more experienced on how to solve those leak code problems than I am. You can transform a string into lowercase equivalent dot lower, text dot lower, right? Text dot lower. What's funny about this free code camp thing is that their first project is super simple, but then they just build on top of it. So for someone who's already familiar with programming, this is kind of a drag, but I'm really excited to see the next ones. Like this one's a drag, but the next one we start with strings, then we go to lambda functions, list comprehension, and regular expressions. Oof, this is such a good progress. Why am I always late to these things? God, remove last print call, and then instead of text I pass, right, right, text. That's what I was doing. this is just a. Is there a preview? Which one? I need to see the print, but it doesn't print anywhere. Oh, there we go. Declare a new variable named shifted. Again, variables in Python doesn't have any types, so you just write shifted and you just put in the variable, the value you want. Use the bracket notation to access the value of alphabet at index and assign it to your new variable. So use the bracket notation to access the value of alphabet. Okay. At index alphabet. Nice. So we're just passing in. Yeah. What's happening here? So instead of hard coding a number here, it's getting the index of. Alright, because .find returns a number, an integer, which is the index of the string where that letter is found. We store it in index. Now we're passing that value into the brackets, which indexes the alphabet, and the return of accessing that index at alphabet is stored at shifted. Alright, so let's go to the next one. I need to practice explaining that better. Okay, print your shifted variable. Print shifted. Oh, here we go. It's showing us here. Make that bigger for folks to see. Because I have so much space in this thing. Alright, as you can see from the output, h, the small lowercase h, is that index 7 in the alphabet string. Now you need to find the letter at index 7 plus the value of shift. For that, you can use the addition operator in the same way you would use it for mathematical addition. Modify your shifted variable so that it stores the value of alphabet at index. Alright, sometimes when you have a ton of things in the instructions, slow it down. Slow it down. There's no rush. So right now I'm getting in a lot of information. So here we go. Read it. As you can see from the output. Alright, see it over here. H is at index 7. Excellent. In the alphabet string. This part I understand. Now you need to find the letter at index 7 plus the value of shift. Okay, that's giving me an idea of what I'm going to do next. Now it's giving me an instruction. For that, you can use the addition operator in the same way you would use it for a mathematical addition. So now modify shifted variable so that it stores the value of alphabet at index plus shift. Shift is 3, index we saw was 7, so this is 7 plus 3, 10. It goes to what? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. If it was H, then 1, 2, 3. Okay, nice. Repeating the process of locating a letter inside the alphabet and determine. Oh, the shifted letter for each character in text can be tedious. Tedious meaning problematic or trouble or annoying. Thankfully, you can simplify using a loop. For now, remove all the lines of code below the declaration of alphabet variable. Yes, remove everything. We're going to be doing something else. A loop allows you to systematically go through a sequence of elements and execute actions on each one. When I think of loop, when you first start to program, it's kind of, if you don't understand it, you sort of underestimate how powerful this is. Because when you're learning it, you're just doing it something simple, so we're going to be doing it simple here. But as you develop and start to build more complex applications, you'll see that these loops will process thousands, tens of thousands, millions of data points, and that's just crazy magical because that's what computers do best, looping through things and doing tedious things fast. In this case, we'll employ a for loop. Here's how you can write. Here's how you can iterate over the text. For I in text. So in Python, more syntactic sugar, so you don't have to do the for. In C, C++, it would be for, and, you initialize a variable, then you have a condition that checks, and then you have incrementer to iterate through an iterable. Iterate means going through something. Iterable means it's a data structure that allows you to go through the members of it. For is a keyword denoting the loop type because you'll have other loop types. While is another one. Yeah, while is the other one. There's do while. I think that's three, right? For, while, and do while. I is a variable that sequentially takes the value of the elements in text. This statement ends with a colon, not a semicolon, a colon, because you have to create. That defines the scope of the for loop. That's another word that's jargony, scope. Below, in the line where you declared alphabet, write a for loop to iterate over text. So here we go. Here's the line where we declared alphabet. Below it, write a for loop. So how do you write a for loop? Here. For I in text. So here we go. For I in text. Comma. And then you test the code. We passed. That's what they wanted. They just wanted you to start writing a for loop. What I love about Free Code Camp is that they are building you up little by little. So instead of, we'll see, right? This is the first line of the for loop. Next, we're going to be dealing with the body of the for loop. Here we go. The code to execute at each iteration, placed after the colon, constitutes the body of the loop. Very important concept. Body of the loop. So here, you're saying for everything inside of text, do something. The do something is where you'll define the calculations you want each element of the data structure to be, each member of the iterable structure to perform. Here it's a simple just print whatever this I is. Okay, 4 spaces per indentation level, very important because in other programming languages when you have a for, you'll have for int I equals 0, I is less than 10, I plus plus, and then you'll have curly braces. Inside these curly braces is where the body of the for loop is, right? Not in Python. Python, everything, the scope is defined by spaces. Uh, so, right, do you see that tab that defines that after these 4 spaces, this is where the body of the for loop starts. And if I do 1 space, right, now here, this is outside of the for loop. This is the Python convention, so it's, if you're like, I love C++, I love Java, I love blah blah blah, and you're seeing this and you think this is silly, you have to stop there. Don't think that way, okay? You have to be programming language agnostic, okay? You don't want to be married to any one language. You want to be comfortable with all the languages. So it's like if you're speaking, maybe you're in the European nations. Oh, you know what? It's like soccer, football players. Football players, they know Portuguese, Spanish, Italian, French, English, because they're always traveling around, going to different leagues. So you kind of have to be in the same way. You have to learn how to speak and deal with Python code. At the same time, you need to be comfortable with Java, C++, and all that stuff. But what you'll see is that there's a lot of things that are common to all these programming languages. And that's how I kind of feel like a lot of these multilingual people pick it up really easy because they understand Spanish, French, Italian, and Romantic languages, so they all have a similar vocabulary, etc., etc. Anyway, what are we doing here? Let's reset. Okay. Right, we're going to the body. Give your for loop a body by adding a call to print. That's pretty much it. And now it's printing out for I in text. Java is a beautiful language. It is, no doubt. And if you're new to programming, it's great that you're starting out Java. And then if you go to Python, learn that, and then come back to Java, you'll understand a lot. You'll understand Java even better. So it's very rewarding for you to pick up a new language because then you'll understand, oh wow, Python does this better and easier, but then Java gives me more power and control. And then if you go to C, you'll be like, oh, C is much faster, and I have more access to the memory. So you have to, if you think Java is beautiful, then you also think Python is beautiful. They're all beautiful. You don't. This is why I'm saying this because I made this mistake. When I was in school, my professors would be like, C, C++ is beautiful. And I believed it. And and that hurt me because then I would have a hard time learning Java because in my head I was like, my professors don't take Java seriously. Why should I? But in reality is I have to be as a student, as someone who's trying to make a living, a career out of it, you have to have respect for all the languages and learn it and appreciate it. Each language does something great differently. Each language is applied to different tasks. So Python is great for computations and scientific things. It runs fast and it's less wordy. So if you're an entrepreneur and you want to build something real quickly, Python is great. But if you're working in an enterprise level and all the code bases are there, it's tested, it's got hundreds of libraries. They both have that, but there's different applications to it. So the lesson I'm trying to convey to you is don't fall in love with just one language. Keep your mind open to learning from every language that's out there because they do different things and you never know when you're going to need it. And if you're doing leak code, I highly advise you pick up Python. It's much easier. But at the same time, if you're really into implementing and creating your own way of doing things, Java is also good. C++ is great. It's good to know both. You have to be flexible. You have to go back and forth. It helps you learn faster. That's pretty much what I've picked up. What am I doing? I think I passed this test. Did I pass this test? Yep. Step 24. Now remove the indentation. See what happens to the output. Yep. Yep. It's not gonna print anything because you're outside of the scope of the for loop. That's why indentation is very important. It's when I first learned about this, I was very judgy. I thought, oh, this how childish is this? That you need to do one, two, three, four in order for your for loop to work. And I wish I could go back in time and just slap myself because so what? It's so what? It's if it's childish or not. That's not the important part. What you want to do is you want to learn this stuff and make cool stuff faster because you can make Python web applications, you can make Python apps, you can make games. That's what you want to get to. You don't want to get stuck, getting judgy about what's good, how many spaces or stuff, or what editor you're using. You gotta learn and then make cool stuff and have a good time making things. That's the spirit that you should embody. Python relies on indentation to indicate blocks of code. Yep. A colon at the end of a line is a signal that a new indented block of code will follow. So when no indented block is found after the final code, colon, the code execution stops and an indentation error is thrown. Therefore, there's no output anymore. Restore the indentation. 1, 2. Okay, that just needs one space and it's happy. But you need 4 space. That's the convention. So let's just go over one more time. Python relies on indentation to indicate blocks of code. Blocks of code is important because that's defining the scope of your variables, which means that I only exists inside this for loop. I does not exist outside of the for loop, so print I. It's not it's not the same I, it's a different I. Okay. If you know Java, you pretty much know all about that stuff. But if someone who's watching this video at a later time in a replay, scope is something you will learn as you progress through your programming career and knowledge. So right now, if you might not understand what I'm saying or someone else is saying about scope, but keep at it, keep practicing programming, you'll get it. um, the iteration variable can have any valid name, right? So right now it's I, but it's convenient to give it a meaningful name. Rename your I variable to car. I want to say that I really appreciate this about Python, the ability to in Java, C++, like the for loops is ints and you're just doing incrementing to the math to go through something. But when you're working and you just want to work through different data sets, maybe a CSV file, maybe text in a text file, this is this two lines of code is so powerful and beautiful because it's iterating through this structure, but at the same time, it's talking in a human language where you understand that I'm going to be working through the characters in this text, and I'd like you to print the characters. After I've been using Python for a while, I actually look for how to use the for each. I think for each is in Java, C++, JavaScript, but some version of that for each for loop syntax. So I think it really shows a more mature programmer or makes it more readable. Yeah, readable is better. So that someone else, your colleague or teammate, can have an easier time reading your for loop. Inside the for loop, before printing the current character, declare a variable called index inside the for loop. Right. So I have an index and assign the value returned by alphabet.find find car. What's happening here? We have that alphabet string, which is holding our letters of the alphabet, obvious, yep. And then we're using the find method, not function, method, because find is a method of this string class. We're passing the car variable, which is just uh, which is just the character in the text string. So each time it iterates, it's going H, then the next iteration E, L, L, O. And then we're just printing the cars, which is what shows up here. We're just printing, right. What does it want us to do? Declare a variable called index, did that. Right, I think that's pretty much it. Is it going to print index now? Currently the print function is taking a single argument car, but it can take multiple arguments separated by a comma. That's true. Oh, new to Python, this is important, so highlight that. The print function can take multiple arguments by using a comma, separated by comma. Add a second argument to print car so that it prints the character and its index. Index. So we're saying it's printing H, -1. Oh, H is not found. Is this the same? Right. It doesn't find H in alphabet. It found E at index 4, which is right. It found L in 11, index 11. Continue. It doesn't have an empty string anywhere in alphabet, so it's -1, didn't find it, etc., etc. Next, find is again returning -1 for uppercase letters and for the space character 2. You're going to take care of the space letter later on. For now, instead of iterating over text, change the for loop to iterate over text.lower. So again, we're changing this for loop to text.lower instead of just doing text. Again, dot lower is a built-in is a method of the text string class. So nothing scary there. We have 8 more minutes, 9 more minutes. At the end of your loop body, declare a variable called new index. At the end of your loop body, which is over here, at the end of your loop body, not outside, declare a variable called new index. And assign it, again, assign means it's going to be equal sign, okay? Assign the value to this variable, so index plus shift. Again, whenever you see assign, means there's going to be an equal sign involved, and the variable is going to be on the left side, and the expression is going to be on the right side. And again, I need to proofread because I misspelled it. Before you run the program, just make sure your spelling is correct. I used to have pair programming and where I made so many errors, and the senior programmer would just get frustrated with me, and I would feel all scared and, oh no, I'm a bad programmer. But no, just take a deep breath. It happens to everybody. Just muscle memory. Strings are immutable. Please memorize that to your brain. It'll help you in real world, and it'll help you during leak code. It'll help you during interviews or whatever. They're immutable, which means they cannot be changed. So what does immutable mean? This is a word you should memorize. What does immutable mean? What does immutable mean, and what does mutable mean? Immutable means they cannot be changed once created. Mutable means they can be changed. For example, you might think that the following code changes the value of my string into the string train, but this is not valid. So here it's saying my string is holding this string that has a value of brain. Now I want to change B to a T. You would think that because the string is an array, I can just index into the 0th position and put a T in there. No, you can't do that because, again, the string data type is immutable. Again, strings are immutable. Can't. Yeah, don't even second guess it. Just memorize it. Anytime you see or you're working with strings, you know that once you declare it and initialize it, can't be changed. Confirm that by using the bracket notation to access the first letter in text. Text of 0, and try to change it to a character of your choice. Nothing. It's going to give me a green, but it's not supposed to do anything. Step 32. Okay, 6 more minutes. If you try to change the individual characters of string as you did in the previous step, you'll get a type error. However, a variable can be reassigned another string. This is going to confuse some people if you're new, because I just told you strings are immutable, but here it's saying a variable can be reassigned to another string. These are two different things, and here's how they're going to explain it. Here we have message. We're storing hello world inside message, okay? But then we decide we're going to store hello there exclamation point inside message, right? Once we do that, this hello world is lost. It's deleted. The string, okay, so message now is just pointing to hello there in the computer's memory. It's no longer pointing to hello world. So we lose that pointer. So I'm using pointing from Java, C++, but that's also how underneath the hood, this is how programming is working. So when you're doing this on this side of the equal sign, you're creating a string object with hello there, and then we're using message to hold the location of this. And so when we change it up and we say, hey, message should now store the location of hello there instead of hello world. We're not messing with the string, so strings are still immutable. It's just where this message variable is just holding, pointing to something else. Unless you decide to like pass this pointer or a reference to this object to another variable, it's since they didn't do that, it's lost when you execute it. Okay, main thing is you're not messing with the string when you're doing this. You're just reassigning where message is pointing to what object. So here, delete text to 0 line and assign a text. Reassign text to string. Delete text to 0 and reassign the text string to albatross. Albatross. Okay, so right now, if you print text, it's going to be albatross. Why isn't it print? Okay, it's over here. I'm all the way at the top. And we no longer have access to hello world anymore. I can, okay, so before, we had access to hello world before, because that's when text was holding on to the location of hello world. But then we said, nah, albatross is now, the location of albatross is going to be inside text. So when you call print text, it's going to point to albatross. If this is all fuzzy, if this is not making any sense to you, do not worry, do not panic. You will be doing this many, many, many times. And the more you do it, the more natural it will come to you. It will come to you. Just trust the process. Don't be overwhelmed. If I'm giving you too much information, take a deep breath. I'm just sharing it to give you a heads up of what's coming in the future. But for now, let's continue doing step 33. As you can see, each character of the reassigned string gets printed inside the loop. Yep. Go back to the original string by deleting the text reassignment. Okay. What can we take from this step? Reassignment is the keyword. So here in line 1 we're assigning hello world to text, but we're changing it to albatross. That's called reassigning a variable. So that's a key vocabulary. So add that to your vocabulary, add that to your personal dictionary. Reassignment, changing the assignment for a variable. So saying delete that, and let's move on. Now you need to create a new car variable at the end of your loop body. So here we go, new car, that's my variable. Set its value to alphabet. Alphabet, new index. I'll pass, yep. Okay, so in this step, you are let's see. You're practicing creating a new variable. You did that. And you're recognizing where is the end of your loop. It's here. It's not two lines after. It's it's one line after that one. So don't write new car here outside of the for loop. It's still inside 4 spaces and continuing the line before it. Let's go next, print new car and see the output. 15 seconds. Alright. And good time for commercial. Alright. 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna take a break. Feel free to go get some water, go get some food, go on your Instagram. Do anything you want for the next 15 minutes, but after the 15-minute break, come back. Let's finish this. Alright, we're gonna finish it tonight, this morning, this afternoon, whatever time zone you're in. I'll see you after this break. Let's get back into it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's move my name. Let's do some fireworks. What is it? Peace sign? Oh, thumbs up. There we go. Let's start the clock. Let's go. Let's see how far we can get in the next 45 minutes. 36. Clean the output a bit. Yeah, it's very messy or a little too much information. So our outputs are the print statements. Delete print car index. Delete this one. And then, by the way, when you delete, don't, yeah, get rid of this line altogether. And turn the last print call into print car, comma, car. And you can see car, and now it's printing HE hello world. Another comma, new car, another comma, new car. What's happening here? String interpolation. Is that right? String interpolation. String replacing placeholders and values in a string literal. Yeah, something like that. I guess for the last couple of weeks I was doing the Java streams, I mean JavaScript streams, and to get something like this, you would have to do the backticks and then have the variable inside like this. But in Python, you don't need any of that. Just print commas, put in the variable, put in the string, and it gets printed out all together. Simplicity, easy, accessible. These are the strengths of Python. Readability, less code. At the moment, the encrypted character is updated in every iteration. It would be better to store the encrypted string in a new variable before your for loop. So before the for loop, look at that, they give you a space, which I kind of hate. This is one of the reasons why in the earlier streams I was using my own Visual Code JavaScript file, so that my work was my work, not like them helping me with all this hints. So anyway, before your for loop, declare a variable called encrypted text and assign it an empty string to this variable. Anytime they say empty string is just two double quotes, or if you like single quotes, two single quotes, that's an empty string. Is this an empty string? That's a space. That's an empty string. Now replace new car with encrypted text. Replace new car with encrypted text. In the print, right. New car with an encrypted text. And new car becomes encrypted text. Encrypted text. Encrypted text is an empty string, so there's nothing being printed here. Right. Nope, that was print car, encrypted text, comma, encrypted text. What am I missing? You should replace new car. Oh, the other places. Here. Encrypted text. Now it gets changed. Nice. Instead of assigning alphabet new index to encrypted text, right here, assign the current value of encrypted text plus alphabet new indexes variable. So all we're doing is encrypted text plus alphabet new. See here, this is called concatenation. Another word you should add to your vocabulary. Concatenation. What is concatenation, you might be asking? Joining character strings end to end. Hello plus world equals hello world. So that's what concatenation is. And it works with strings. So the plus becomes the concatenation operator when you're working with strings. Concatenation. Did I already pass this? Nope. Oh, and in Python, the comment is the pound sign. You can obtain the same effect for a equals a plus b by using the assignment operator. Yep, assignment operator exists in Python also. It pretty much exists in almost all of the languages, all of the object-oriented languages, so I can safely say that. Does it? Is there? Yeah. The addition assignment operator enables you to add a value to a variable and then assign the result to a variable. Yep. So a equals a plus b can be rewritten to be more compact by saying a plus equals b. So we're just getting rid of this extra a. This is called the addition assignment operator. That's what you should study. The vocabulary word, addition assignment operator. And whenever you hear this or whenever you read it, you think of this. And there's also a subtraction assignment operator, multiplication assignment operator, the division assignment operator, and the modulo assignment operator. Alright, so we're just saying use plus equal to add a value and assign at the same time to encrypted text. Look at that. Look at her. Is I hope I'm doing this right. Nope. You should use the assignment operator to add to the current value of encrypted text. Oh, right. I need to do plus equal like that. But that was pretty interesting. What did I do before? I did plus equals. This is doing encrypted text plus alphabet. Nice. That was a good error to make. Let's see what they're saying here. Comparison operators. So important and critical in your programming life. You'll be using this everywhere, all the time. So get very comfortable with these operators and what they mean. Again, you're learning a language, the programming language. Equal. What is it doing? Comparing two things if they're equal to each other. Not equal. Are they not equal to each other? Is one greater than the other? Is one less than the other? Is one greater than the one on the left side greater than or equal to the one on the right side? Is the one on the left side less than or equal to the one on the right side? And they all return a boolean value, true or false. At the beginning of your loop, print the result of comparing car with a space. This is not an empty string, it's a space. Okay, so at the beginning of your loop body, which is auto here, print the result. So I'm doing print the result of comparing car equal space. False. Why is it always false? Because it's iterating through text, not lower, so it's going through before it goes to H, it's false. Before it goes to E, false. Hold on. Waterloo. Java visualizer. That was Python visualizer. Yes. Let's check this out. This was a great tool when I was first starting to learn programming to help me visualize what my variables were doing and where it was created. So I just want to quickly just run this thing that we've been working on into here. Wait. Add code. Okay, visualize execution. So okay, this is really cool. So in line one, we're creating a variable called text is gonna hold hello world. What does that look like? This is how it looks like. Hello world. Next, we're gonna do shift equals 3. Then an empty string called alphabet. Okay, encrypted text. Okay, no alphabet. Yeah, and then encrypted text is an empty string. Then the for loop. This is cool. Look how it's gonna iterate. It's going through H first, right? Index. Why did it not do the fall? Okay, 10 encrypted text gets updated to K. Then it's gonna print. Oh, here, the print is here. Then it's gonna go again. The variable car gets updated to E. It's gonna print the false because we're up there. Then it's gonna increment index, gets updated. Boom, boom, boom. Every time you're going through this for loop, this is what's happening. This is how a for loop works. This is what your code is doing in the computer. And this is visualizer showing you step by step of how it works. How cool is this? This is one of the coolest, useful, exponentially helps you like digest these programming concepts because it's visually showing you what's happening in the computer. You don't have to imagine, you can just see it. So that once you get this down in your imagination, then in the future, when you're writing your own code, you'll be visualizing it in your head without this tool, what's happening. And this will help you become a better debugger also. And it goes through 71 steps. Bloop, 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 bloop. Okay, that's the end. What am I up to now? Currently, spaces get encrypted as C. That makes sense. Why did Alexa just start? Currently, spaces get encrypted as C. To maintain the original spacing in a plain message, you'll require a conditional if statement. This is composed of the if keyword, a condition, and a colon. What is it saying? Alright, it's saying, hey, anytime there's a space, it's following your algorithm and it goes 1, 2, 3, and it sends it to, and it becomes C. We don't want that to happen. That behavior is not acceptable. It will cause errors. It will be a bug. To maintain the original spacing in the plain message, you'll require a conditional if statement. This if statement is going to check for this behavior. And now they're teaching us how an if statement is composed. So to write an if statement, you write the if keyword, then the variable, then the conditional operator, and the value you're checking. So it's saying if x is not equal to 0, then print x. Okay? If you're learning to program, try to translate the computer code into English, just like I did right now. If the variable x is not equal to the value 0, then print x. Okay, so this translating thing is similar to like when you were learning algebra, right? When you were learning algebra, you had word problems where you had to read the word problem and translate it into math. You're doing something similar here where you're reading the prompt and you're translating into code, and vice versa. You're translating the code into English. Alright, let's go. In the example above, the condition of the if statement is not equal to 0. The code print x inside the if statement body runs only when the conditioning value is to true. Very, very, very important to understand. If I don't want to say if is not okay. What's another word for if? What is another word for if? What is if in the event once? Once is good. Once x is not equal to 0, and that's true, then this line of code executes. I don't want to say if. Once and once x is equal to 0, then it's false. So it skips this. Wow, I really. How important is this if word? Synonyms for if. Synonyms. If. On condition, provided that. Presuming. Assuming. Allowing. Whether or not. Whether or not. Whether or not. Whether or not x is equal or not equal to 0. That's how you know if print is going to be executed. Whether or not. The condition of the if statement is x not equal to 0. The code print x inside the if statement body runs only when the condition was true. Excellent. At the top of your for loop, replace print car blah 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 with an if statement. Yeah, because this wasn't doing anything. The condition of this if statement should evaluate to true if car is empty space. So maybe just get rid of if. Get rid of print. If car is an empty space. Okay. Colon. What do you want me to do here? The condition of this if statement should evaluate to true if car is right. Inside the if body, print the string space. Space. So I just went wrong. The if statement, yeah. If print car equals to 0. Do not use parentheses. Okay, that's why it's not letting me pass. Step 43. Now instead of printing space, use the addition assignment operator to add the space to the current value of encrypted text. Use addition assignment operator to add space to the current value. Okay. So to the current value. So I'm going to be doing the assignment operator. So encrypted text is going to the left hand side of the assignment, addition assignment. And car is going to be the other side. How did I decode that? First it's saying to use assignment operator. So I'm going to have this. Then I have to figure out what's on the left side, what's on the right side. And it's saying to add the space. To add the space. So this space is being added to something already. So that's going to be in the right hand side. Because that's what I'm going to be added to the left. And the left is going to be the current value of encrypted text. That's why it's on this side. Because I'm adding car to this encrypted text. Which is over here. Next. A conditional statement can also have an else clause. Yes. This clause can be added to the end of an if statement to execute alternative code if the condition is of the if statement is false. Whether x is not equal to 0, print x. Otherwise, print the string x is equal to 0. As you can see in your output, when the loop iterate reaches a space, which is here, a space is added to the encrypted text. Nice. Oh, that's very nice, yeah. Then the code outside the if block executes, and a C is added to the encrypted text, yeah. Oh, so that's not what they want. That behavior is a bug, so we have to fix this bug. Then the code outside the if block is executed to fix it, because this is a bug, we don't want the C's. Add an else clause. Add an else clause. So right after I press enter, it's gonna think we're continuing the if. We're continuing to add code to the if block, but we don't. So we press delete. Then we add an else. Press enter. Encrypted text. Wait, I did to add an else clause after the encrypted, right, and indent all the subsequent lines of code. Oh, I see. All this stuff is inside the else. Now C's are gone, so that's good, right? Nope, that's not good. What did I do? Except the print call. Oh, the print doesn't get it, right. So the print. See, it was here before. It's inside the else block. Delete it. It's not. So this code is just inside the if condition. This 3 lines is inside the else condition. And this print is back in the for, along with the if else. Next, 1:42 here in New York City. It is. We still have 23 more minutes. Yeah, dude. Remind me later. Try to assign the string hello Zaira to your text variable. Okay. Hello Zaira. See what happens in the console. Hello Zaira. What happened to Zaira? Zaira gets totally lost. Hello does it. Okay. When the loop reaches the letter Z, the sum index plus shift exceeds the length of the string alphabet. Ah, so it's throwing an error and it's not doing anything. The Z is causing an error and it's just stopping your program from doing anything. And that's why it just ends at hello space. In this case, the modulo operator can be used to return the remainder of the division between two numbers. Okay, this is another keyword and operator. So you gotta study this hard, the definition and how it's being used. What is the modulo operator? It looks like this, percent sign. So when you use the percent sign between two values, you're doing the modulo operator on those values. So here is an example. You're doing the mod operator on 5 and 2. What this saying is, what is the remainder of dividing 5 divided by 2? 5 divided by 2, 1, yeah, 1, oh, it's right there. Because 5 divided by 2 is a quotient of 2 and a remainder of 1. 2 times equals 4, remainder of 1, 5. Surround index plus shift. Where is that? Index plus shift with the parentheses. Add modulo expression 126. And now we see C gets C, A gets D, and on so on and so on and so on. I want to emphasize what's happening here. In programming, this modulo operator not only helps you get the remainder of something, but in a behavior of your programs, it helps it to be circular. So here, without this modulo, the rules of your algorithm falls apart because 7 goes to z. How do you add plus 3 to z? Because what you're asking it to do is, when we know in normal human language that when we say plus 3 to z, you want the computer's arrow to go from here to go to A, B, C. Um, Before that modulo operator, it just stopped at Z and it says, I don't know what to do here, and it crashes. Now when you're doing modulo 26, 26 being all the characters, the length of this string, it's saying Z plus 3 divided by 26. What's the remainder? So, what is that? Z is 26 plus 3, 29. 29 divided by 26 equals 1, remainder 3. So it's saying go back to the start and doing 3. Huh. Modulo operator could... You know what, let's see if we could visualize the modulo operator using here. I want to see how they do the modulo operator. Alright. Again, dark red is the line executed, light gray is the line that was just executed. So here we go. Hello Zaira is declared and initialized, and no, hello Zaire is a text string that's being stored in the variable text. Shift is holding the integer value 3. Alphabet is holding on to a string of the 26 characters of the alphabet. And now we're entering the for loop. Encrypted text starts as a empty string. Now we're doing with the character H. H is not a empty space, so it moves to the else. Now we find index 7. 7 plus 3 equals 10. Encrypted text is concat addition assignment. What is it called? Addition assignment. Yeah, addition assignment of the alphabet. New index. So encrypted text becomes K. Because H 2 3 1 2 3 is K. Okay, cool. Then we're printing car and car, blah blah blah, which is gonna show up here. Now we're going to do with E. Now we're doing it with L. Another L. Hold on. Index plus shift, okay. Nothing so far, okay. Yeah. Now the Z. Okay, no. They didn't really visualize it in any special way. Cool, let's get back over here. How many more steps we got? We're at step 47. Womp womp womp, okay. We're halfway there. A little bit less than half. If you wish to incorporate additional characters into the alphabet string, such as these are special characters, you'll find it's necessary to manually modify the right operand of the modulo operation. Oh, right. So right now it's hard-coded. Here it's saying it's better to get the length of alphabet so that in the future, if you decide to add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, you don't have to change 26 to whatever 36. The program will calculate it for you and use that calculation here to get new index. Now modify your print call to print encrypted text. Print encrypted text. encrypted text. I'll just get rid of this. So they want, nope. You should print encrypted text. Encrypted text after your for loop. After your for loop. Whoops. Reset. This is inside the for loop. This is after the for loop. And boom. So we get the final encrypted text. You should not have, get rid of this. Okay. Boom. Right before the print call. By the way, you're going to start seeing my energy levels dip. Because right now we're closing in at 2 o'clock in the morning. No amount of coffee is going to help. No amount of cheap Amazon Basics coffee. Right before the print call, add another one past plain text. I see. So this way we can review what we started off with and what we got. Plain. Oh, cool. So we start with hello Zaira, and we get kudlud. This could be a good tool if you are using it with your friends and family. A function is essentially a reusable block of code. Oh my god. You have no idea how many millions of times you're going to read this when you're learning to program. A function is essentially a reusable block of code. This should be, yeah. And any other comments? Like I said, my energy levels are dipping, so my creativity and improv skills are also dipping. You have already met some built-in functions like print, find, and length, but you can also define custom functions like this. Aha! We have come to creating custom functions in Python, which is where your superpowers will come in. This is how you will solve problems and implement solutions. A function declaration starts with the def keyword, followed by the function name, a valid variable name, and a pair of parentheses. A valid variable name. This is key. In Java, used camel case, so function name would be like this, right? In Python, it's called snake case. You use underscore to separate words. We go from camel to snake. Function declaration starts with a def keyword followed by the function name. Right after your shift variable. Okay. Declare a function called Caesar. Def Caesar. Indent and indent all the following. Okay. And indent all the following lines, right. So it's saying everything we did so far, make this part of the function. This was outside of the for loop. Yep. Nope. What did I do wrong? after the function name. My bad. And it takes no arguments. I still have a you should main. Oh, okay. I did not have to do all that. So I misunderstood. So right after shift, declare a function called Caesar. Kaiser pass. No? No. And indent all the following lines to give your new function a body. What's going on? Okay, yeah. Pass. Oh, all lines after shift equals 3. Huh? You should indent. Right after the shift variable, declare functional Caesar. Yeah, that's what I was doing earlier. Declare a function. Yep. Once again, and indent all of. Oh, I see it. Just this part. That's why there's a line here. No. What's going on? Shift shows up here. Def Kaiser. Okay, let me get the first error. First error where I need to pass. Okay, now the next error. Try again. What's going on? Where is the error? Okay. Indent. Alright. I had to indent everything, so the other attempts I was indenting the prints. Yep, my energy is just now dove to now I'm just like falling asleep in my head. Anyway, we have 5 more minutes, so I think maybe tonight we'll go up to 50, maybe 55. No, I think I want to finish it because maybe tomorrow night I want to start doing this project. The lambda function, I'm excited about the list comprehension. Oh, these are short ones too. Okay, I think tomorrow. Oh yeah, I also want to do some data structures tonight. That's true. Okay, so maybe, yeah, this Pomodoro will be the last for this session. And I'll come back online with the graphs, trees video. Step 51, to execute a function, you need to zoom in. To execute a function, no. To execute a function needs to be called by appending a pair of parentheses after its name, like this. Very, 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 very important to remember this and pretty much have this. This is what you should be memorizing. Memorizing? No. You should just practice writing functions and calling functions. And the more you write and call functions, the more programs you write. Write test programs like on FreeCodeCamp or follow tutorials like this. The more you do it, the more natural it will become. Don't sit around memorizing. That was a very big mistake for me. It killed so many hours. Okay, at the end of your code, call a Caesar function. C-A-E-K. Boom. Next. Now you should see the output again. Although this approach works, it doesn't significantly enhance the code's reusability. Right, repeatedly calling your function will result in the same outcome. However, functions can be declared with parameters to introduce versatility and customization. My energy level has dove so much that I feel like I'm doing an injustice to you, because over here, this is so critical. What they're saying is, hey, you're just. It's nice that you're calling Caesar, and you can call this over and over again, but as long as the values inside are the same, nothing is going to change. So call it again. It's just gonna, change. It's not useful if you're just gonna have the same output every single time in this case. And they're saying, wouldn't it be better if you passed in some data that would help give different results for different data? And how do we do that? We pass in the data as parameters. Parameters, arguments. These are some of those words that you sort of need to memorize in your vocabulary and make sure you don't get them mixed up. There is, yeah. So, so during a coding interview or when you're coding with somebody, you shouldn't be saying, "Oh, call the Caesar function," and pass that thing inside of it. That's not how you. That's not how you should speak. You should be like, Caesar function accepts two parameters. Pass in Kashfi as the first parameter, and second parameter pass in Earth. That kind of thing. And what are parameters? Parameters are variables that you use inside your function, that you can use inside your function. So these are data that becomes accessible to the function body's computation. That makes sense. Alright, so modify your function declaration so that it takes two parameters called message and offset. Message and offset. Inside your function body, rename text and shift variables. Inside your, okay, to message and offset. Okay, so text becomes message and shift becomes offset. Okay, so what's happening here is message is being saved to the variable text and offset is being saved to shift, so that we don't have to rely on these, so that the values of these variables are not this, are not these values up here in line 1 and 2, but these variables contain the values inside of these first two parameters that are being introduced to the function body and saved to text and shift, so that later on, when text gets here, it's doing the two lower on the message, and the shift is here, and that's different from earlier 3. It could be anything now. Okay, did I pass that? You should rename all your cursive text to messages. Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, okay, okay. This is good, but that's not what they're saying. They're saying everything. So now here, it's the message. Like I said, I'm getting tired, so I'm making errors. My apologies to you. Text and shift, message and offset. Text, where else is text? Text. I think my way is better. Shift is offset. Text is message. Is that it? Yep. Oh, break time. Break time, or is it the end of the stream for tonight? I think it's the end of the stream for tonight. There's so much to study, so much to review. Alright, so we're up to step 54, and we'll pick this up tomorrow night. Where are we at? 54. Yep. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 30, 42 more, right? 42 more. Yeah, so one more night and we'll be done. Okay, once again, thank you for joining me tonight on this stream. I'm super appreciative of having you along with me on this live stream. If you have any questions, anything that was unclear about, please feel free to leave your question in the comment section. My email's on one of these slides. Don't feel shy, reach out, happy to help. If I don't know the answer, I am happy to maybe reference someone else who might be able to help you, or point you to other resources on the internet that I think could help you. Alright, thank you. I'm wishing you guys a great day, a great afternoon, a great evening. I'm Kashfi signing off. See you tomorrow night, or see you in the other videos. Like and subscribe. Thank you.